everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the first series on how to build dynamic inventory management system in Excel. Now, let's begin. Here is the transactional table that we're going to actually create just like this, that handles all our transactions. Now we have 4 colors that actually separate everything right here. So we have the color for the header and for this very side like this. Then we have this color that actually stands out to help us demonstrate data entry or input. Now we have this data. Right here that actually has to do with Dropdown. So we can use it to actually help us to differentiate the Dropdown from the normal entry as well. And we have this color that is almost white to be color for output. So you can see all my output carries this color, all my Dropdown carries this color, while all my input carries this color. So we're going to learn how to do this in a jiffy. And this is a dynamic Dropdown we're going to learn how to actually create right here. So we have duplicate coming from the sales or from the price table. We are not going to allow the duplicate to appear right here. We're going to use some function to control it. If you stick to this channel, you're going to learn a lot about function and how to use them to actually create dynamic spreadsheet for your clients. Now let us go to a new workbook and start designing this from A to Z. Now here we go. Alright, here we have chosen a new workbook. So right now we can actually give it create a header. So I'm going to give it a title, which is transactional table. So transactional table, I'm going to actually center it. So what I'll do is Control 1 and choose center across. Go to alignment, choose center across selection and hit OK. Then now we can actually go on home and click on this by giving it white, and we click on cell style, then choose title for it. Then okay, we still have to go back, so it has wipe it out, then and we have bold, so we can actually click off. So right now the next thing we have to do right now is to start creating our header like we have just seen right here. So now I have it already here. I'm going to copy and paste it beneath here. So here we go, we have our header. So we need to generate some random data that can help us to actually explain this better. So we have it right here as well. You select it and you copy. So come to the transactional table and drop it beneath the header. So this is what we have. So now we can actually give it a serial number, like the number for every customers. So now it's going to copy down and we're going to use fill series. So the next thing we have to do right now is for we to turn this to a Excel table. So our table has header, you know what it is. So you click on this and we have this table, which I don't really like, so I'm going to change it. Change the design, click on this, hit this, and I'm going to give it my own design. So the next thing I'm going to do is to actually highlight this and give my header this color. Then change this to white and actually click on bold. Now we have it stand out right now. So the next thing is for we to actually design our table just like this. So we need to separate the color. So now I still want to give the header color to this very side. So choose this and center it. Now we have that. So now here is going to be what we're going to enter. We enter our customer's name and we enter the date of the transaction. So we're going to be giving it our input. Look at it. This is the input color. So right now the female and male, which is the gender, is going to be under Dropdown, which we're going to choose this color for Dropdown. So we're going to turn it to Dropdown in a jiffy. Just hold it. So this and this is going to be what? It's going to be as well an input, which we're going to actually choose this for it, while this and this is going to be for Dropdown. So we come here, click and choose our Dropdown color. So this is going to be an output. So every single time we choose a product, the category automatically come up itself. So it's output. We have that, and we have this one to be what? We have this one to be input as well. So we're gonna click this and have this selected. So do not worry, we're coming up. So now we're gonna have this price, cost, and due amount to be what? To be our output. So we select and we select output. So we select here, we go here and we select drop down. The drop down color. So this is going to be output. Don't be surprised if amount paid is output. I will explain. And when we run the calculation, you're going to see what goes there. So now we click on this and we finalize it right here by giving it output, because everything right there is actually output. So now it's output. Haven't we gotten it right? So we've just gotten exactly what we have right here, right? Now it's standard. So you can explain to your client that we have, when you see a color like this, it means you can actually start entering something by actually typing it out. So when you see something like this, you can select from the drop down. So we are going to create a very dynamic drop down for it right now, but before then, let us run some calculation right here. So right now, this particular product is this person purchased this product with 50 quantity of the product. So now let us give the product price. Part-1 is $190, and we have this one to be $120. We have this to be $30. Then we have this to be $90, right? Let's see that. Now the cost price is going to be lower, so maybe it's going to be 120 or 100. So we have this one to be 50, and we have this one. Okay, we have this one to be 20, while we have this one to be 50. So now we can see we don't have any sign right here that shows what kind of currency it belongs to. So we want to change the currency by controlling one, enter control, just click on control one, select currency. We're gonna leave it in dollars. So there are so many currencies right here that you can actually choose from. So now we don't need any of that, so we hit enter. So now we have right there. So now the next thing we're gonna do is actually see how much is the due amount. Now when this person purchased 50 quantity of this product, how much does he or she has to pay? So now we're gonna like, okay, equal to this quantity, we're gonna multiply it by this, then we hit enter. This is what we get. Now the amount paid is when this person purchased this quantity of this product, and at this amount, how much does he pay? So how do we do that? So we're gonna actually go to our balance. So if he doesn't pay all the money, he would still need some balance to be given to a company. So now it's gonna be equal to the due amount minus the amount paid. Then when I hit enter is what I have. He does not pay anything. So if this person decides to pay the 90,000, the 9,000, right? The 9,000 right now. The 9,000, I hit enter. So we're gonna be having him to balance as 500. Now we're gonna handle debt. This debt, as I explained in the first video, in case you've not watched it, please just check the playlist and watch the first video that explained how this dynamic inventory management goes. Everything I've actually give you, every steps we're gonna actually go through right there in the first video. Now this is the second video. So now what we need to do is that we're gonna be handling this very debt paid in another sheet, but let me just illustrate what it means to you. Now we're going to be actually adding minus the debt paid, which means if the person come back and paid 500 that is left, so we have $500 left, right? So now if the person wants to pay $500, we're going to pay it in another sheet, but it's going to appear here and subtract itself automatically. So right now we have 0, right? This is what it is. Now maybe this person paid the whole 240. Oh yeah, 240, and this person does not pay, and he pays here on the dot in the other sheet, as I've actually explained. So we have it right here. Don't worry, you will know how we actually create that in the other sheet, and the reason why we do that is that we can keep track of how a customer paid their debt. Now this AP and DP stands for, AP means amount paid, and DP means debt paid. Now what we're gonna do now is gonna be equal to this amount paid. Now is this, we're gonna be adding it to what the debt paid. So when we add it together, what do we have? We have exactly the amount due right here. You get? Now the next we're gonna be doing, don't worry, if you like you can actually add 0, and if you don't add anything and it's just blank, it is equal to 0 as well. Now the cost of goods, so it's gonna be the quantity purchased multiply by the cost. Then we hit enter, and this is what we have to do. This is everything we have to do in terms of the calculation. The calculation is actually very okay. Now the next thing, we can add comment to this. So I'll show you how to add comment and how to format this in a very dynamic way later after all. The next thing we have to do right now is to create our dynamic drop down for products, whereby you can actually select product. So let us go to the price table. In the price table, we have a lot of products. Right here, we have almost 20 to 21 products, if I'm not mistaken, right here. So we want to actually populate this product into this very drop down we're going to be creating right here in HFA. But before then, we need to create a helper column. So how do we create a helper column? A helper column helps us to actually look at the product table and tell us how many times do they appear. If it appears more than once, so we want to actually control it to help us just show one when we want to select, so it shouldn't show us duplicate products right here. So now how to actually create this very helper column. So we're going to use count if. Using this count if, so the count if is going to be looking at the product column. So it's going to be D, we have to lock it down, so it's going to be D3 to D3. So, and the criteria is going to be, that is the range, the criteria is going to be D3 again. So when we close and hit enter, what do we have? We have one all true. Let me show you what you don't understand. The reason why we have one is this: it's telling us that every product appeared once. So if we now decide to enter that product, like this product, when we hit enter, what do we have? We have 2, which means the product appeared 2 times or twice, right? So now we can control it, not to show the duplicate. So what we need to do, we need to copy this. We copy this and we add if condition. If this is not equal to 1, this is not 1, then give me 0, else give me this. Then when I close and hit enter, what do I have? So I'm going to actually copy it down. So I have 0. So the reason why it gives me 0, it means if I actually go to my if I actually go to my transactional table and select the drop down, what I will see is just one of these, not the both of them. So that is what we've just done. But the next thing I'm going to be doing right now is to use sum if, and to wrap it up, it's just to use sum. So using sum, we're going to actually be looking up at the very column we are sitting on right now, Control J, right? So Control J2, so just J2, not Control J, just J2. We close and hit enter. So we have it just like this. It has a lot of duplicates, right? This is just the duplicates we have. Don't worry, we'll handle it at the other side. Now we've created our helper column. The next thing we have to do right now is to name this table. By clicking here and name the table, just I love giving it like TB underscore whatever name I want to give it. Okay, here is price table. So I hit enter. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go to the transactional table and start populating the. We can't just start right now to actually have a dynamic drop down. We have to write another function which will bring us to this very one I've specified. Do not worry if you don't understand what is going on right here. Stick to the video, watch it over and over again. You will get what you're actually doing right here. You will learn a lot about the functions we are actually using right now. So right now, let's say my client says, oh, he has just 100 products. So he has 50 products and his products might grow to 100 products. So now we are very specific on how many products we are going to be adding to this very sheet, or to the price sheet. So from the price sheet, if immediately we get to the hundreds number of products, if we add more like 505 and 6 or something like that, it's not going to appear. It is only 100 that will display. For that, we've actually specified it. So if your clients needs to actually update it to add like 2, 3, 4, 500 products, so you need to be contacted as the developer. So right now, the first thing we need to do is to get the unique list. So getting the unique list, we're going to be using max function, and we're going to be using the table we just created, the table name, and the helper we've created is what we're going to be using right here. So the helper column, we bring it up and we hit enter. How many products? We have 20 products, despite that we have duplicates. So the duplicate is out, so it means we have 21 products and one is duplicate, and when we remove the duplicates we just have 20 of it. The next thing is to extract the whole products we have right here. Now what way do we use index? So when we use index, we bring the table name and we now go and fetch what we need. We need the product column and we close and use the match function and the row function as well is what we're going to be using to extract it. So what do we need in the row? So we're going to use a, or where we are sitting on, where we are actually extracting it to, which is this right here, and that is going to be locked down, so it's going to be 5, like, okay, it's going to be 8, then to a or 8 as well. So we close it and we hit comma. So we need the lookup array, so we don't have to go to the table to actually select and get the lookup array. What we need to do, because we've created the name range for it, we're going to type the name right here. So that is it, and we need the helper column again. So the helper column, close it, and comma, we need the exact match, that is the match type. The exact match is what we need, so we hit that and we hit enter. So what do we have? We have the first product right here. So the next thing is for me to copy this down. So when we copy this down, we have our 100 product being created. So we now enter products up to 100, but we have this NA which is not available. How can we control this? It is very easy to have this controlled. So the next thing we have to do is to actually come right here and copy from here, from this row down to here. So we have to copy it. So when we copy, so we come here and say use the what and this if condition to actually determine what we want it to, how we want it to behave. If the one we copy, we drop it down here, is what is greater than this number right here. So I want you to give me empty, else if it is not greater, just give me this. So we close it again and we hit enter. Okay, sorry, I think there's a mistake somewhere. So if it is not, give me this. Okay, if this, okay, let me just review. If this is greater, so I'm going to actually use this sign to wrap it up and wrap it up right here. So if this is greater than this right here, I want you to give me empty, else if this is not, give me this. I think that is what it is. Okay, if this is greater, index. Okay, the logic is if the first, if that is that, if this is greater, sorry, okay, if this is greater, okay, fine. What we need to do, the mistake we have right here is that we included this is greater than this, so I want you to give me empty. Then we have closed it here and we've actually added extra right here, so we're going to take it off. So now all we need to do is to lock it down. So we lock it down and we lock this down as well, lock this down, and we hit enter. Then we have it. So now if I drag it down, what am I going to have? I'm going to have all this being cleared out, though the formula will still remain there. So now we have it wiped off, so we don't have it any longer. That is what we're trying to do. Sorry for the little mistake. So the next thing now is to extract to get a unique count to create our our link right here. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to count how many items do we have right here. So it's going to be count if. So count if is going to count from here down to the last 100 number. So now what we're going to use now is what we call a while cut. So comma. So now that is the range. The criteria is going to be the question mark followed by the asterisk, and we close it again. So we hit enter. It's going to help us to extract how many we have. So we have just 20 of it. So the NA we have the other time that we wiped out, which is that actually we wiped out, is not going to be counted. So now we can copy this. When we copy this, we can now create our name range, which is the link with it. So now we use offset function. Offset this, comma, you add 2 commas and you drop the link right there. So you close. And the next thing we're going to do right now is to lock the whole thing down. We're going to lock it down. So we can lock it down with this, lock this down, lock here. Then we have this one locked, and lastly we have here locked. Then you hit enter. This is what we want to generate. So we've generated this. We can copy this right now, copy the whole. So when we copy, then we can now go to our drop down area, which is right here where we have our product. Then we click on the data, and we now go and click on the data validation right here. Then we choose on list. Then we drop the link we've just generated. We drop it there. So what do we have? If you look at it, we don't have that sign right here, but we have the sign right here. Now here's what we have. Now to look at how beautiful it is, this is the last product we have. Now it does not include this extra one we added, which is this one. So if I add a new product now, like new product, and hit enter, so and come back here, we're going to see the new product being added automatically. And if we go down to here, so we have the new product included. The new product is included, and the product numbers we have is what is 20 right here. As you can see, it will increase until it gets to 100. So that is all about that. So the next we're going to do is to create this very one. So we don't have to use dynamic because it's actually something that is very constant. You said that you are a male or you are a female. So we can actually automatically generate a drop down for this by going to this data and go to the data validation, and you select list. Then we type it in. We hand code it. Now is male, comma, female. So that is all about that. So we've gotten the drop down, so we can now just drop this down and choose male. So let's say we have button to male. So now that we've actually learned how to create this, so without wasting much of our time, so we can actually use this technique as well to create the remaining ones. So the one you need to create right now, which is the assignment you're going to be having to learn how to create this kind of dynamic drop down right now, is to create this for our sales reps. In the next video to come, I'm going to show you how to create this, and this one as well is going to be the same thing as this. So right now what we need to do is for us to generate this, so you can highlight also that when it comes you wouldn't have to drag it down. Go to the data and data validation, go to this and select list, move it to see what is there. So now you sell sales, you put comma, yes, you have it the same, then return, then return sales and return. Then when you hit enter, so you have it right here. So now this is going to be dynamics. That this is what's going to be actually helping us to actually either subtract or add to our inventory that we're going to be creating in the next video to come. So do not worry, stay tuned, subscribe, like, comment, and help me to share to grow my community. I will love you for that. Thank you very much for watching.